Why is it not possible that Hashem created the world and left it to continue on its own?
So in this idea, like in many ideas, besides for a lot of length that there is about it, but there's two main concepts here. Point number one is the intellectual reason why it's necessary for us to say that this is the way it is. Point number two is, why did Hashem do this? Now in point number two of why Hashem did this, obviously we can't understand fully why Hashem did what he did, because Hashem could have done anything. But we can at least understand now that Hashem did it this way, what he wants us to understand from it. Point number one is just to understand how we see that it must be like this. So let's look at point number one, what the Alter Rebbe explains in Shara Yichud Ve'emunah and in Tanya in various places. And that is the difference of a craftsman. A craftsman, when he takes and he creates a vessel. So he's either a goldsmith, etc., that takes and uses precious metals in order to make something out of it. How does he do that? He takes the precious metals or any metals, he heats it up until it's red hot, and then he's able to bend it into whatever he wants to bend it. If you have a glass blower who wants to make beautiful gold cups, etc., or different things out of glass cups, different things out of glass, how does he do it? He takes this little piece of glass, heats it up in the fire and blows, and as he blows, he can form all types of things. It blows up like a balloon and then it dries out. Then you can have someone who is a craftsman who makes stone cups. He takes a chisel and a hammer and he bangs it until he creates that stone cup. What's he doing? What's the craftsman doing when he's taking the metals and making something out of it? When he's taking the glass or the stone and making something out of it? He's not creating anything new. He's merely using the inherent power and nature that's been put in it since its creation. Glass has a nature that it can be blown. Metals have a nature that can be bent when they're hot, and stone has a nature that it can be banged and chiseled and cut in that way. Try and chisel glass. Try and bend glass when you put it in the oven. Try and blow metals. It won't work, because all what we have to do is use the nature that it has, and all we're really doing, the craftsman isn't changing anything. He's just using its nature, that its nature is that it can be bent and changed. And that's why once he did it, he leaves, and it still stays forever the way he did it, because he didn't do anything really. It was what the stone or the glass or the metal is. If someone wanted to change the nature, so to change a nature fully is not within our power whatsoever. But even if for a time, for a limited amount of time, we wanted to change the nature, such as the example of Kriyas Yamsuf, and perhaps, or one of the ideas of what the example from Kriyas Yamsuf is not necessarily the miracle of Kriyas Yamsuf, but the concept. If someone wanted to change water from the nature of flowing to the nature of standing up like a stone wall, the only way to do it would be that power that's holding it has to hold it the whole time. Or in anything in our world, when there's something that I'm holding, I need to be constantly holding it because I'm changing something. But that's only changing one nature to another. Now imagine changing the nature, which means the fact that it's nothing and making something out of it, creating something. If in order to change one nature, it has to be held the whole time, imagine to actually make something out of nothing. It's not enough to make it and then go away, because that's the biggest possible change that there is, and therefore it's understood that Hashem is constantly recreating it. Now the question why? The answer to why is because that's what he decided. If he made it a different way, we would say, why did he do it this way? Anyway, he did it. However, the fact is that Hashem did it in a specific way, which means there's something that we can understand that he wanted now that he made it this way. And true, if he wanted to make it the other way, he could have. He could have made it in a way that it lasts forever. What we're proving from the original proof that we brought, Kriyas Yamsuf, etc., is that this is the way he actually made it. Not that this is how he had to make it. But once he did make it in this way, let's think about the whole purpose and idea of creation. Hashem created a world and wants us to be in this physical world and to reveal the godliness, the reality of what it really is, which means we're in a world that hides over, conceals, doesn't reveal its true essence. Hashem wants us to, in this world, reveal the true essence of it. Now, if Hashem just created the world and then left it, it wouldn't be possible for us, then the world would have no connection to its source. On the other hand, if it was openly revealed this source, then there would be nothing to reveal. It wouldn't be a world which is hidden. And therefore Hashem made a world which is constantly going back and forth. It's being recreated, it goes back up, recreated, back up. So it becomes an existence, but then has to always go back to connect its source, so we always have something to connect it to. And in fact, Hashem did this in everything in the world. Look at how a clock works. Tick-tock, tick-tock. It's always going back, forth, back, forth. When we walk, go, stop. Everything in our lives, our pumping of our heart, our breathing in, out, because everything in the world is be created, stop and reconnect. Come, reconnect. Because that's the way we're able to have it, and that's what we have in the 6 days of week. Shabbos is reconnect, etc., etc. But that's why every second Hashem makes it that we actually have every second a creation, but that we have something to connect it to its reality of its true essence of what it is, so we can actually fulfill our purpose of revealing that in the world.